Good evening, friends. I am Mohan Kumar, Civil Servant 2016 batch into Nanak Service. Today, I am available for the strategy discussion for the preliminary examination of civil services examination. This is also called PT, means preliminary test. So, PT has two papers. One is called General Studies and second is called CSAT, that is Civil Service Aptitude Test. Paper 1, that is General Studies, is of 200 marks and CSAT is also of 200 marks. Studies consist of many subjects in this paper like geography, Indian history, Indian polity, economics, science and tech, international relations, biodiversity and environment. Question may also come from art and culture. And apart from this, the more hard work required in the current affair, because nowadays questions are very much oriented towards the current affair. Even the subject questions are coming from the traditional subjects like geography, history, or Indian polity, but current affair questions are also mixed with the traditional questions. Now, the question is how to prepare for the general studies paper of the PT, because the marks of the general study will only determine whether you are above the cutoff and you are coming in the qualified list of candidates. CSAT is the second paper and it is only required to qualify the CSAT by the marks fixed by the UPSC. So, all the candidates who will qualify the CSAT paper of the PT examination, that is preliminary test, for those candidate only, the general study paper marks will come into the picture to determine whether they are above the cutoff and qualifying PT or not qualifying PT. It means just you have to qualify CSAT with the marks fixed by the UPSC, maybe one third marks or bit above than one third marks. But you need to score more and more marks in the general study, because cutoff of general study varies every year. Out of the 200 marks, the cutoff may be sometime 105, sometime 110, sometime it may be 97 or 90, depending upon the complexity of the question and the how aspirants and candidates are scoring in that particular year in the civil services preliminary examination. So you need to do hard work in the general studies so that you can score more, so that once you qualify CSAT, then you may go above the cutoff marks fixed by the UPSC for that year PT, and you if you come above the cutoff marks, then only you will qualify the PT of the civil services examination. Now I will discuss the strategy for the general studies. Like general studies is having subjects geography, Indian history, Indian polity, economics, science and tech, international relations, biodiversity and environment, art and culture, and current affairs. Now, today, I will just give a brief summary, brief introduction about which are the books to be referred for the preparation of the general studies, that is paper 1 of the PT examination. Geography. Geography, we need to study 11th, 12th class NCERT books. The most important book in geography is the Fundamental of Physical Geography. that is the 11th class NCERT book. And directly questions are asking from the parage of this particular book. And more number of questions are asked from this book only. Second book is the India Physical Environment. Third book is India People and Economy. Second book was in 11th class and third book is in 12th class. Apart from these three books, one more book we need to refer, and that is India Comprehensive Geography by D.R. Khullar. This book is having all the data updated by the current affair and in the correct time. But the book like India People and Economy is having all subjects, all the topics like transport, like how the economy is performing in India, like road network, like ship network, like airports of India, and also population of India, migration pattern in the India, and how agriculture sector is working in the India, and like that. So basically, this book, like India, People and Economy, is the book of the socio-economic development of the India. But the data are not updated. The data may be 5 year, 10 year back data. So in that regard, we need to go with a book which is updated with the current data, and that book is the India Comprehensive Geography by the D.R. Khullar. After having these four books, we need to also have atlas. And the best atlas we are referring, and I have referred, is the Oxford School Atlas. So, if we keep all these four books and atlas, and if we study well, then geography will be completed. After completing geography section, we need to refer the previous year questions which came from the geography subject in the general study. And for that, we may take book of previous year subject wise segregation of the question and the solution from New Vishal publication or Arihant publication or whatever publication available in the market. So we may take a previous year question book where the topics wise questions are segregated and detailed solution are provided in that particular book. So after studying all these books of geography like physical geography, fundamental of physical geography, second was the India physical environment, and third is the India people and economy, and one side book I told for the reference, and that is India comprehensive geography by the D.R. Khullar. And after that, if you are solving all the questions from the previous year question, then certainly if around 15 to 20 questions are asked from the geography, you will be able to solve more and more questions after reading this source material. After this, I will go to the history. History is not complete history. It's not world history. It's only Indian history. So in India, Indian history, we have three parts. One is ancient India, second is medieval India, and the third is modern India. For the ancient India, the book referred is R. S. Sharma, Ram Swarup Sharma. The second book is Medieval India, and for Medieval India, this is the Satish Chandra. The third book is the Modern India, where India's struggle for freedom is also discussed. That is the main topic, in fact, discussed in the Modern India book, and that is by Bipin Chandra. And this Modern India book is of the 12th class. So all these three books are the old NCERT book where the authors are R.S. Sharma and the Satish Chandra for the medieval India and the Bipin Chandra for the modern India. So after reading the history, all these three books, let us say you are completing ancient India, then you must go to the previous year question. Like I told, two publication, but there are other publication also. Maybe other publication available in the market, and you can choose the best available book by the discussion and the review available on the internet for the previous year question. So, after studying ancient India, you must go to that previous year question and you solve the question on your own and judge yourself that how is your preparation going on for the ancient India. In the same way for the medieval India and in the same way for the modern India and the India's struggle for the freedom. That is a part of the modern India. So after studying modern India, you need to solve the previous year question. So if I talk about the history, then certainly questions are asked between 12 to 15, 16 questions. And if you prepare these three books, then you would be able to solve more and more questions in the previous year and also in the actual examination. After studying this history, I will move to the Indian polity, that how to prepare for Indian polity. Indian polity. Firstly, we need to refer the basic book. And the basic book for the Indian polity is Indian Constitution at Work. That is 11th class NCERT. The advanced book is Indian polity by the Laxmikanth. But if a person will directly go to read the advanced book, that is the Indian polity by the Laxmikanth, it would be difficult for him because he would not be knowing the basic of the constitution. So it's better to study the basic book of the 11th class, NCERT 11th class, and that is in Indian Constitution at Work. And after studying this book, one must go for the Laxmikanth book, that is the Indian Polity by Laxmikanth. And if you prepare these two books, then polity section would be completed. Polity is dynamic. Like I see that different kind of acts are passing in the parliament. Different bills are also introduced in the parliament. And apart from that, Honorable Supreme Court of India and Honorable High Courts of different states of the India, they are also delivering the verdicts and orders. Those orders and verdicts which are important are also to be referred, and question may ask from those places also. So, and apart from that, we need to read the newspaper for the current affair. So I can say current affair and the orders of Honorable Supreme Court of India and Honorable High Courts of different states of India, and two books I referred. And apart from these four sources, one more is website, and that website is prsindia.com. So prsindia.org. So if you refer prsindia.org, many X and bills are also provided there, which are introduced in the parliament or into the different legislative assembly of the India. So that is to be referred. After having a study of the Indian polity, you must solve the previous year questions of the Indian polity by the books available in the market and which are segregated, questions are segregated subject wise. The fourth subject which I am going to discuss is the economics. Economics. Reading economics by the 11th and 12th class book would be bit difficult if you don't have economics background. So to simplify that how to move in the economics, I can say basically you study the ninth class economics book and 10th class economics book of the NCERT. Ninth class economics book is economics, simply economics, ninth class, that is first book, and the second book is understanding economic development, that is in the 10th class. So these two books you need to study. Once you study these two books, you will get a basic idea of the economics, and after studying this, you must read that year budget. You must go through the budget and also economic survey of the India. So economic survey questions will come, budget question will come. Just for the basic idea, you are referring the ninth and 10th class NCERT book of the economics, and after that this budget and economic survey, you must refer to the current affair and international organization which are related to the economic development, like the World Bank, IMF, and the Asia Development Bank, and other such kind of the associations like the European Union. So after even the G20 and the ASEAN. So these are the blocks you need to study in the detail and the current affairs related to that. And apart from that, the budget and economic survey to basic book. And if you go through all the material, it would be sufficient in the economics, and after having this sufficient idea you must solve the previous year question of the economics segregated from the previous year paper, and then you will get the confidence to go for the PT examination. After this there is next section, and that is science and tech. Science and tech, if you are not from the science background, then it is very difficult to study 11th and 12th class physics, chemistry, and biology. You know, people who are studying 11th, 12th class physics, chemistry, biology, they are if they are studying seriously, they are appearing in the IIT JEE examination. So I say that it's not required to study 11th and 12th class physics, chemistry, and biology. Rather, you study the basic science, that is only ninth class and 10th class science, and that is sufficient for the non-science background aspirants. And let us say you are from science background, then I think you don't need to read ninth class and 10th class, because you know the basic science, that is the natural science and the basic science. So if you are from arts background, commerce background, or management background, you must read ninth class and 10th class science. And if you are from science background, you don't need to read the basic book of science. But you need to know the advanced developments of the science nowadays. What are those advanced development and what are those fields? So I can say one is IT, that is information technology. Second is missile development, missile program of the India from the DRD. The third is a space development in the India and how ISRO is working. The fourth is that is related to your bioinformatics and also biotechnology. Apart from this, nowadays a lot of developments are taking place in the renewable source of energy, and the solar panel and solar energy is the very hot topic nowadays. And apart from this, you may study the different kind of pandemic which have spreaded in the world. And nowadays, you know that from 2020, in fact end of the 2019, but more from 2020 March onward, the how coronavirus spread in the world and pandemic came. So all these developments in the science and technology you need to go through, you need to understand, and just you need to know the basics of the science from ninth and 10th class. If you study all these, then I think science and technology you would be able to perform better, and just you need to go through the previous year questions of the science after completing these science topics. Now I will, apart from these five subjects, like I discussed about the geography, then history, then Indian polity, then economics, and then science and tech. So three more topics are there where more questions are coming nowadays. The next topic is biodiversity and environment. I cannot refer you a single book or two book or three book on which you should be completely dependent. But I can tell you the topics which you need to read in the biodiversity and environment. And after that, I will tell two books which are available from ICSC board, which you need to refer for the basic ideas of the biodiversity environment. So topics are national parks of India. In India, we have 106 national parks. So it's not required to go through all 106 national park, but certainly you need to segregate national park on the basis of the state, and at least you should know that which national parks are available in which state, but not much detail. For the details are only required to know for the national parks which are in the news and which, or the national park which have come recently, or the national park which are the oldest national park, like the oldest national park, the newest national park, and national park which are in the news. So, detail of 106 national park not required, but at least you should know that which national parks are available in which state. So, you must segregate this 106 national park into the states, and then you can remember that which national park are available in which state. Now, the second is biosphere reserve. We know that in India we have 18 biosphere reserve, and biosphere came from MAB program of the UNESCO. MAB means man and biosphere, and biosphere are bigger in area than the national park. So you need to understand, you need to remember the 18 biosphere reserves. After the biosphere reserve, the third point is wildlife sanctuary. In India, we have 574 wildlife sanctuary. And this 574 wildlife sanctuary is not required to be studied. Only those wildlife sanctuary are required to be studied which are in the current affair news. So only current affair related wildlife sanctuary are required to be known. Now next point is Ramsar Convention Site. Ramsar is an organization, world organization, international organization, which adopts and declares international water bodies. In India, 91 sites are declared under the Ramsar Convention. So all these 91 sites of the India are important, and these are important with the respect to the UPSC examination. So you must segregate these 91 Ramsar Convention sites in the India among the different states, and you study. After this, ecological hotspots of the India, you need to know what are the ecological hotspots in the India. After this, you need to know the concept that what is ecosystem, what is ecology, what is greenhouse effect, what is global warming, what are the agents of the global warming, how the climate change is happening due to global warming. And apart from this, the UNFCCC, that is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, so which has started since 1992, and in that UNFCCC, three conferences are more important, like Kyoto Protocol. So from the Kyoto, that is COP 3. COP 3 means Conference of Parties, that happened in 1997, and in Japan, and Kyoto Protocol came after that. The second is that Copenhagen Convention, that took place in 2009, that is again important. Third is Paris Agreement, that held in 2015, and that is called COP21, that is again important. Apart from this, there is a convention related to protocol related to the uh, diminishing of the depletion of the ozone. So that is called Montreal Protocol. So Montreal Protocol came in 1987. That is again important. Apart from this, there was a Millennium Development Goal and which ended in 2015. After the Millennium Development Goal, there is a Sustainable Development Goal, and Sustainable Development Goal started from 2015 and it has to be completed in 2030. So nowadays, this is time for the Sustainable Development Goal, and there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals which have come from the UNO, and every nation of the world they are striving to score more. They are trying to score more score in the sustainable development goal, and they are trying to develop their socio-economic condition of every nation in the world, so that you need to study. So in the biodiversity environment, I told you need to refer the national park, then biosphere reserves, then Ramsar convention sites, then wildlife sanctuaries. Then I told about the concepts like concept of ecology, environment, biodiversity, what is food chain, what is food web. After that, you need to know about the greenhouse effect, then the global warming, climate change, melting of the glacier, increasing rising of the sea level, and after this the different kind of convention, like I told the Montreal Protocol of 1987 related to the depletion of the ozone and how to reduce the depletion of the ozone. And after that I told about the UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention of Climate Change, and the third convention was in the Kyoto, that is in Japan, and the outcome was the Kyoto Protocol, COP 3. And after that I talked about the 2009 convention, that is in the Copenhagen, and the one more very important convention, that is 2015 and COP 21, and that COP 21 outcome was the Paris Agreement. So these are the different COPs you need to study, and even I talked about the three COPs, but more and more COP, and nowadays which COP is going to come, where it is going to come, you need to study. And by this way, if you study all these, then you are done with the biodiversity environment. And I can say in the biodiversity environment, maybe 15 question or more than even 15 question will come. This is the trend that from 20 to 18 questions are asked. Sorry, not 20, 12 to 18 questions are asked from the biodiversity environment. It's a very important topic. Then I will talk about the international relations, that how to study international relations. See, international relation, you don't have to study in the conventional way like G77, like the issues of the time of 1960s and 70s. You don't need to study in the deeper of the how wars happened between the India and the neighbor. Certainly you need to know, but you cannot go in the too much study, too deeper study of them. If you go too much study in them, then you would be not able to focus the current development in the international relations. Simply you need to know that Seal came, then 1962 war came, then with the Pakistan, the different wars happened in 67, 66, 1966, 67 wars happened. Then 1917 war, 1971 war, then the Siachen war in 1999. So like that. And the current issues going on among the India and Pakistan, what issues going on between India and Pakistan. So more and more focus on the current development. Also, you need to go with the bilateral relation of the India with the different nation of the world, like India-US relation, India-Russia relation, India-China relation, India-Pakistan relation, India-France relation, India-UK United Kingdom relation, India-Germany relation, India-European Union relation. Where to get this bilateral relation? If you go with the big book, voluminous book, it will consume more time. So the best idea is to go with the Ministry of External Affairs. and their bilateral relations are written by the embassies of the India posted, deputed in the different nations of the world. So let us say India-US relation. So there would be one document in the website of the Ministry of External Affairs, and for India-US relation, maybe 10 page to 12 page PDF would be available. What PDF would be available? You need to download that, and you may read by the printing, or you may read by your laptop or computer. So I gave the example of the India-US relation. Likewise, for India-Russia relation, you need to download the PDF, you need to study. For India-China relation, India-France relation, India-UK relation, India-Singapore relation, India, the UAE relation, likewise, you need to study. So one is the bilateral relation, and bilateral relation you can study better by the Ministry of External Affairs website. The second is the multilateral organization and the blocks. So maybe around 15 to 20 multilateral organization and blocks if you study, which are important for the civil services examination, then it would be sufficient. I will take the example like you need to study about the World Bank, IMF, International Monetary Fund, European Union. European Union is a bloc as well as uh, economic bloc. Next is like Asia Development Bank. Then if you talk about the different organization, then like SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, BRICS, after that G20, G7 also, genesis of G7 and genesis of G20, and after this you can also study SAARC because India is the main nation in the SAARC, South Asia Association, that is SAARC. After this, you may study the ASEAN nations. India is very important, and apart from India, the nations of the Southeast Asia like Singapore, Thailand, and other nations, Vietnam and other nations are total 10 nations are into the ASEAN. And after the ASEAN, one is BIMSTEC. BIMSTEC is related to the Bay of Bengal nations, which are the member of BIMSTEC. India is the leading nation in that BIMSTEC, and likewise. So, but one more important thing I missed, which is the mother of all the organization, that is UN and UNSC, that United Nations Security Council, and also the UNO different wings and agencies like UNESCO, and also FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization, like that. So all these organization you can study, all these economic organization you can study, and apart from this bilateral relations you can study, and current affair you can study in the international relation. So if you go with the four ideas, that is the bilateral relation, the current affair, and the third is the international organization. And after this, if you go through the previous year question, I think it would be sufficient for the international relations. Now the next topic is art and culture. Art and culture question may come from art and culture. 3 to 5 questions are in number. I'm not very sure that every year question will come, but if it comes, it may come from 3 to 5 questions. And the important book in the art and culture is the Indian Art and Culture by Nitin Singhania. That is good book, so you can refer that book. After this, the most important topic is the current affair. People are ignoring current affair. They are becoming master of this traditional general studies subjects like geography, history, and the Indian polity, economics, but they are not performing better, and they are not able to qualify the PT examination. Reason they are lacking in the current. If you talk about the current affair, out of the 100 question, that question from current affair may be 30, and I include budget and economic survey in the current affair. So that question may be 30, And if you talk about the indirectly linked question, then it may go up to 50 also. So I can say that current affair is very, very important topic and you must not leave it. Current affair, you cannot learn by just studying for 1 month, 2 month, and then leaving it. It's a continuous process. It's a continuous reading of the current affair. So I can say for the current affair, you must refer the Hindu and reading of the Hindu continuous for 7 to 8 months will bring you a grip on the current affair. So next newspaper important for this age, Indian Express. For the Hindi medium student, it is Dainik Bhaskar. And after this, you need to refer some magazine like Yojana magazine and Kurukshetra magazine. After this, as I told that economic survey and budget are also the part of the current affair because every year it comes. So I can say those two are also important. And if you do the hard work in the current affair, daily reading of the current affair, you will perform better. So I talked about the history, geography. History means Indian history. History, geography, Indian polity, economics, science and tech, international relations, biodiversity and environment, Indian art and culture, and the current affair. If you do a study, if you are doing the study of this subject one by one, and if you are solving the question from previous year, certainly you would be able to achieve more marks. And I can say if after deducting the one third negative because if one question is wrong in the PT, then one third marks is deducted. And if one question is right, then 2 marks are awarded. So let us say out of the 100 question, you are attempting 90 question. And out of the 90 question, let us say 75 are correct and 15 are wrong. So if 15 are wrong, then one third of 15 would be 5. So out of 75 correct question, 5 question would be deducted and 70 are treated to be correct. 70 question into 2, it will come 140. But generally 140 is very, very high. Cutoff goes up to 100 or 105, 107 like that. So every year it depends that how much cutoff goes. So if you are scoring like 110, then I can say that for that year, it probably you would come into the list of qualifying student or candidate for the PT examination, that is preliminary examination, and you would be able to prepare for the main examination. See, PT is the first gate to be cracked. Do hard work and you must pass this preliminary examination to appear in the main examination and to appear in the interview and to get your position in the final list, that is the civil services final list, IAS, IPS, IRS and other services in the civil services examination. I hope this video may help you. In case you have any doubt, you can put your question as a comment and I would be able to reply in my next video. Thank you very much. All the best and good luck. Thank you. Bye.